Hello, I am your host, Jenny Oceans. Welcome to Coming Home with Jenny Oceans. This is your authority podcast when it comes all things nervous system. Not for another trendy post or reel on socials. This is actual change for you to understand your nervous system, to understand why mindset alone doesn't work, why understanding that going into trauma release sessions will not change your life if you are not combining the science, the spirituality, the mindset, and the nervous system regulation. This is your podcast where you will learn and understand why your mind and your body is working in a certain way. This podcast is real, raw, and authentic with absolute authority when it comes to all things nervous system. Let's go change your life. I always talk about open chapters, how open chapters are like chewing gum under our foot. That chewing gum under the foot is stuck in previous chapters. It's stuck in the past. And no matter how much we're moving forward, we will be stuck in the past one way or another because we haven't closed the chapter. And the only way to close the chapter is to close the chapter with love. Now, yesterday I realized something. I had something going on. I've been doing this work for 20 years. And yesterday I realized that I was like, shit, I still have an open chapter. And not only do I have an open chapter that I'm not moving away from, I'm stuck in the loop of that chapter. And now I'm also bringing that unconsciously into my daughter's reality. And now I'm placing that book in my daughter's library in her mind. And if you follow along for a while, you know, I always speak about the books in the mind. I see our mind as a massive library and we are full of books. Most of the books are not ours. And what I have been doing in my daughter's entire life without really realizing is that I've been placing this book in her mind. Now, it's not hers. It's not hers to keep. And by me leaving it there without removing that chewing gum from the bottom of my feet, it's going to stay there and she's going to continue with it and she's going to have to deal with it. So yesterday I spoke with beautiful soul sisters. Make sure that you surround yourself with people that desire growth, that desire connection, and that will fucking lift you up no matter what is going on. So I sat with my soul sisters yesterday and I discussed what was going on in my life. And as always, they will be real raw and they will tell me the truth. No matter if it's spiky and hurts a bit, they will tell the truth. And I sat with that and I just had a light bulb moment and I realized something. And I'm not going to share with you what the actual story is because that doesn't really matter. But what happened was that I sat there and I realized, I went, shit, I have an open chapter. And that open chapter is keeping me in this loop that I've been trying to get out of for a long time. And I'm programming that to my daughter's mind unconsciously, and it's time to let go of it. It is time to let go of the open chapter. So what do? I have awareness. I don't punish myself. I don't guilt trip myself. I don't do any of these things. I sit with myself and I allow for myself to see what is unfolding, see where the pattern is created and where it's coming from. And I do that with love and acceptance. There is no judgment. There is no punishment. I just sit with myself, open-hearted. And there's a skate park incident, just making sure children are okay. And I sit with an open heart and I love myself through the process. I journal, I write down, I let myself realize and understand what is actually going on. And I love myself through that process. I figure out where it has actually come from. Where has it come from? Because it's not actually mine. So where has it come from? And then I don't punish the people that it has come from. I just recognize it. I have the awareness, I recognize it, and I acknowledge it. And then I have to make a decision. Am I willing? Listen to this. Am I now willing to create a new neural pathway? Because we know that we're always going to go to the path of least resistance, which is the pathway. So visualizing the high tall grass, which is up to the knees, we're going to choose the path of least resistance, which is the path that has been walked before. So if I now desire to close an old chapter and close it with love, I need to create a new neural pathway, which is challenging, right? If you have a massive field in front of you and there is a path that has already been stomped down, you're going to walk that path. It's the path of least resistance. So when I then sit and realize that there's something going on here and I need to work on that, I need to then choose to start from the beginning of the field and start treading this new path. taking new steps, doing things I haven't done before, because this is brand new. This story, this path is a brand new neural pathway. And it feels challenging. And I need to be gentle with myself. I love myself through the process. And I just need to be absolutely willing to create a brand new pathway that I know is going to be challenging and it's going to take time. But I decide to do it. I journal about it. I desire what I truly want, what is not actually working out for me anymore, and what I don't desire to keep. I sit with that. And then I have a separate journal that is my journal to keep for the rest of my entire life, that then it's going to go to my daughter. And I journal in there about the story. And I also have a journal for my daughter that I only put a few things in it. It's for her to read when she's old enough to truly understand everything, possibly 18. And I write the story in there and I say, hey, I just realized today that this story is still unfolding in my life. And I have unconsciously been placing this story into your mind. I'm just letting you know that now I'm closing this story with love. I'm leaving it in my past and it is no longer yours or mine to keep. So that she's aware that if this any point in time comes up for her, she knows that it's not hers and I've already closed it. So I close it with love. It's about understanding, having awareness, acknowledging, and making the decision to actually make a conscious decision to close the old chapter, which means you have to now create a new neural pathway because naturally you're always going to choose the path of least resistance. So things you have always done in a certain way within this area is now going to look very different. So it's a matter of being willing to create the new neural pathways. That's it. Figuring out the loops you're stuck in and see them with love. Because once you have finalized and closed off this chapter and decided to create a new neural pathway, once you've done that, you send the old chapter off with love. It was there for you. You needed it for parts of your life. But when you're ready to let it go, you close it with love. I could choose to be upset and angry to the people that placed that into my mind and that allowed for that to unfold. I could be upset with myself for being a bad mom, for allowing for that to unfold for my daughter. There's so many things. I could bring so much anger and frustration and resentment into it. But I don't, because that's not how we close the old chapters. We close the old chapters with love. And sometimes it can take years to close old chapters. The old chapter with my ex-husband, it took me years to find enough love and acceptance and forgiveness to close that old chapter with love because there was so much anger. But when I finally found it in myself to close that with so much love and acceptance and forgiveness, it was done. And I moved away from it. It was honestly finished. It's like you look under your soul and it's like, shit, the chewing gum is gone. I'm moving forward. And we can still moving forward and have open chapters. But that particular chapter that has not been closed is still going to be open and will keep you in the past in one way or another. And that's it. Healing doesn't have to be very, very traumatic, and you don't have to sit in a corner and cry and scream, and you don't have to go and do millions of trauma release breathwork sessions. And it doesn't have to be as painful as many people show up for it to be. Yes, it can be tears and it can be sadness, it could be screaming, and yes, we've got to express your emotions. Very important, but healing can be really fucking fun. When you bring joy, pleasure, and laughter and fun into healing, it is so much lighter and it's so much easier. And remember the path of least resistance. So if we're choosing to heal an old chapter and we choose to do it with laughter and joy and pleasure, that is the path of least resistance because that's a lot easier than grief and pain and all the darkness, right? So on that note, I'm going to finish this beautiful episode with my September retreat, which is coming up, New South Wales, Australia, Byron Bay hinterland. There's only 3 spots left. Almost all the spots sold straight away as I shared it within my students inside Becoming. It's a 3-day retreat in Byron Bay hinterland. It is called Falling Back in Love with Life, Finding Excitement for Life Again. And this is done in true Jenny style. We're going to be doing lots of breath work. We're going to do lots of neural pathway creations. We're going to go through a lot of breath work, a lot of cacao, a lot of the beautiful, delicious, incredible things in the most stunning property. It's a luxury property in the middle of freaking whoop whoop mountain. Like there's nothing around there. There's acreage and acreage and acreage and acreage that belong to this property, and there's nothing there but nature. Stunning views. It's going to be freaking phenomenal. It is not sit by the pool, drink pina colada retreat. It is a full on experience of you actually closing old chapters and moving forward to find that joy, pleasure, and excitement for life again and connect back with yourself and figuring out and really finding who you truly are. So, if you feel called to come and join us, I'll put the link down below in the show notes to come and visit the retreat or contact me at connect@jennyoceans.com. Sending you all the love. www.jennyoceans.com is my website. That's where you find it all. I send you so much love. And if you are curious about understanding nervous system, neural pathway, breathwork, and all the incredible mindset things, come to my next full day experience, which is on the 30th of May on the Gold Coast. See you there. Ciao.